Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to show you all the details of this car. So the all-new Seat Leon, 4th generation model, very important model for the Spanish brand because they actually invested 1.1 billion euros into the development of this car. It is the most advanced Seat ever built, and let me go through all the things that you need to know about it. First of all, this is the new key, new design, lovely with the gloss black and chrome elements, and this particular model is finished in desired red color. Also has the FR trim. Now what FR trim does, makes it much more sharper, much more aggressive. I love it. My favorite trim definitely would be FR. Then you have this sort of like air inlets. They are also in satin, like satin gray, something like that. And then this is usually in chrome, but when you get the FR trim, then you get also satin gray edges of the front grille. Now the grille itself looks like it's been taken from Tarraco, but still it's nice with this contrast between black and gray. I personally think it looks cool. Now the headlamps, first of all, LED is standard, and then this is the full LED, which means in full LED package you get the front LEDs, and then you get at the back full LED lights with dynamic indicators or cascade dim indicators. You will see it. That looks very nice indeed. Also, I love the daytime running LEDs, and then they become of course the blinkers or the indicators when you turn them on. And then look at this pattern here. Remember the design of it, because you will see exact design in digital dashboard when you open the car. So that's a cool feature. So tell me guys, what do you think about the design on the front? I personally believe it looks nice. It's sharper than the predecessor, I would say. And I especially love this spec. So you have the desired red color with the 18-inch wheels. Let's actually take a look at the wheels. So performance 18-inch wheels. They are finished in two colors, so you have once again this gray element with the silver one, and yeah, overall looking very nice. The FR trim comes as standard with the 17-inch, but I don't like the design of those, so definitely I would upgrade to this. Now let me show you the side profile of the car. Isn't this beautiful? 4 meters and 37 is the length, which means actually 9 centimeters longer than its predecessor. The wheelbase has been extended by 5 centimeters, which means there's much more space inside for the passengers and for all the people traveling. Also, look at the lines here. I mean, you have this line that goes all the way to here and then fades away, but comes back at this point here. Also, the roofline looks like it's a coupe style because of those elements that you see here. We also have the roof spoiler, and then when you come from this angle, this is my favorite angle of this car. I mean, look at this. Connected taillights, LED technology, cascade indicators, which you'll see later on, and overall shape is really nice. You have, I mean, just look at this edge. Really cool. Really cool. Then you have sort of like a 3D shape here, and overall I think they did a great job with this one. From the back, unfortunately, we do have completely fake exhausts. Completely fake, so the real one, yeah, we see it, it's down there. So that would be a minus from me. I don't like to see that, especially not in the FR trim. And here is the camera. And one thing that we need to mention definitely is the lettering. So tell me in the comments, what do you think about this lettering? It's the new one. They actually had 40 different designs, and in the end they opt for this one. I will be honest with you, I don't like it because first of all, I don't think it's symmetrical, like because of the shape itself. So I'm not a huge fan of this. Also, I think the lines are pretty clear with the car, and then you have this totally funky line. So I'm not a huge fan of this design, but that's very significant design because it will probably be you know, the lettering for all new upcoming Seat models. So tell me, what do you guys think about it? And then here you have the FR logo, of course, so that you don't mistake it for anything else. And well, yeah, tell me in the comments, what do you think about this design? let's open the trunk. You actually open it like this. And then you are greeted with 380 liters of space, exactly the same as Audi A3, as Volkswagen Golf. So standard for this class, I would say good. You also have the spare tire down there, and then you also have some hooks for your shopping bags. The LED lights, actually there's only one, it's on the right side. You can fold the seats, and then you can also put the skis through this element here. What else can I show you? Well, yeah, you have some extra storage spaces on the sides, but other than that, the rest of it is pretty standard. So yeah, I mean, it's decent amount of space, similar to all the other opponents in this class. We also need to speak about the suspension. So there are actually three options. First of all is the standard suspension. Then secondly, on the FR trim you get sport suspension, 15 millimeters lower than the standard one. But the top choice, and this car actually has that, is the DCC dynamic chassis control with adaptive dampers, and then you have different driving modes, and when you change the driving modes, the dampers change, also the stiffness change and everything. And it's actually really decent, because in comfort you get really smooth ride, and then in sport you get much more harder drive, and I mean you get better handling of the car. So I would recommend you to go for that, but it's an expensive option. I think also the sport suspension would be just fine. And well, yeah, also one thing about the rear suspension. So with Golf and A3, multi-link comes from 150 horsepower. Here you need to go above 150 to get the multi-link at the back. So yeah, have that in mind. And let me show you the car once again from all the angles, from this lower perspective. Tell me in the comments, what do you think about the design itself? Personally, I'm a huge fan. Among the best looking cars in class, in my opinion. Share your opinion in the comments below. I really am interested in your thoughts, because yeah, personally for me this looks mega. Once again, my favorite angle of this car, here, right here, beautiful. Okay, so now it's time to check out the interior of this car. A lot of new features there also. Time to enter the interior, and first of all you are greeted with very nice materials. You have sort of like a matte finish here. This is all soft touch, and then you have of course the buttons for the windows and for the mirrors. Door pocket is actually really big. You can fit a bottle in this. And then look at this pattern, also cool one. You're greeted with the illuminated FR badge on the door seals. And then here we have sort of like a sport seats. The FR seats, they are rather nice with this red stitching to go with the exterior color of the car. And then you have the sport steering wheel with the flat bottom, and once again FR badge and some aluminum parts in here. The air vents, they are awesome. They look like they came from Audi, and those from Audi look like they came from Lamborghini Urus, so thumb up for that. You see the LED stripe going all the way. I will demonstrate you that. I will show you, which options you can have with the ambient lighting. Now look at this pattern here. I also showed you that on the front light. Let's actually do it once again if you didn't notice it. Look at this, the same pattern. Cool feature. Anyway, let's jump inside. Let me also show you, actually, now that we are here, the panel for the lights. So no more classic switch. You have this panel, looks better, but I think the previous option was easier to use. That's now the same with the Golf, and all the new models from Volkswagen Group have this. But yeah, as I said, looking better, but I think that it was easier to use the previous one. And then this is also cool. When you do this, you see this element lights up, and then also when you drive during the night, if you have someone in your blind spot, it will be illuminated. You will see that in my night point of view drive, but now let's see the interior of the car. So first of all, we have the digital cockpit, which is standard 10.25 inch, looking very nice. You have a different views available. And then this is the main screen, 10 inch. This is optional. Let's actually start the car. All right, so this is optional. As I said, 8 inch is the standard one, and then this is a better one. I would recommend you to go for this, but the standard one is also nice. As you can see, no physical buttons. That is good for the design. Not so good because I mean, not so good when you want to change the AC. That's one thing that I would love to still have on the buttons, but it is what it is. Then you have this slider here, which you can choose, use to change the temperature. You can also use the voice command, which is here. Lower the temperature.
Sure, it will get cooler at the front left shortly.
So it's easy to use and it's really, responsive. But still, I would love to have the buttons for the AC. Let's go through all this. So USB-C ports, only USB-C ports, and then you have the wireless charging pad for your phone. This is the slider for the volume, and then on this main bridge we have the gear lever for the 7-speed automatic DSG transmission. That is the new one, which uses the shift by wire. So if I press to drive, it's still in the same position. Let's go back to the park, but you get the point. It's really easy to use. When I first saw the photos, I wasn't convinced. Now this is beautiful. I would never, go back to the old one. This is really, really nice. You have the start engine button, which is illuminated in here. And then here is the storage space for some small things, coins, stuff like that. And then this is, of course, electronic parking brake, then lock, unlock, and then the auto hold button. This is the cup holder. Unfortunately, there's no roller, so I would love to see the roller here. It would really look nice because this element is really good looking really fresh, and then this doesn't have the roller. I would really want that roller. Then this can be adjusted. It's in leather, so that's good. You also have decent amount of storage space and also 12-volt power outlet in here. Let's check out the glove box. It's decent. And then materials. Let's focus on the materials. They are actually really, really good. I'm very surprised. So you have this leather with red stitching, and then this is all very, very soft. I don't know if you can see it, but when you touch it, this is really good. And then this brushed aluminum part is also a rather nice feature to have. So now that we covered, the things that you see, let's focus on the new infotainment system. First of all, one fun fact for you. Look at this design with diagonal parts in here. This was actually designed by SEAT designers from the Barcelona lab. Now this car is produced in Barcelona, and therefore this is a cool feature because this shape and this design was inspired by the avenue in Barcelona, which is called Diagonal. And when you actually look at that avenue from the Google Maps, for example, then you will see that it goes like this in Barcelona, and that's the huge avenue going through half of the city. And yeah, it's really, really cool to see that element in here. One fun fact for you, I think personally that's a cool feature. And I also am a huge fan of this new infotainment system, of the design itself. Probably my favorite, I would say, in this class, because it's like a funky, I don't know, like, I think the younger crowds will really love this infotainment. So first of all, you have this layout. You can actually change different things in here, as you can see. And then here you have some other features for the AC, for example, and the driving profiles. So those are, let's say, some of these shortcuts, and then the main menu is here. So let's go through all the possible things that you need to know about this infotainment system. So navigation is very responsive. It's looking nice. I don't know if I can show you the buildings, but you do have this sort of like a 3D shape. You can of course change the day or night mode. We'll put it to automatic. I think now it's already in the night mode, so let's put it to day mode. Now you see it in the day mode. And then cool feature is that also this changes. You don't have different ones, you always have the same one. Let's put it to auto. Second one is the radio and media. You can have a radio like this, or if you want a better design, then you can have the whole layout just for the radio. Of course, media, you can pair your media. You can listen to music through the USB. Then going back to the menu, telephone, you can pair your phone with full link. So in order to pair your phone, please use USB, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Mirror Link. Back to the main menu, users, you can have different users if there are multiple persons using this car, just to have the settings set for yourself. And then vehicle, this is among the features that you will use most often. You can actually have the vehicle settings. You have the shortcut always this. So when you press this Seat Leon logo, then you see that this car, this avatar, turns on the lights, and then you are into this new system and new settings setup. And then here you have a bunch of things that you can adjust. Start stop system, I'm going to turn it off. For example, lane assist, and then you have side assist, dynamic road signal, driver alert system, front assist, bunch of safety systems that are now available with the new Leon, and then they can be adjusted here. Driver profile, there are actually bunch of driving modes available, and since this car has the DCC dynamic chassis control, that means that you also have the different settings for the dampers when you change the driving modes: eco, comfort, normal, and sport. But of course, more on that in my point of view drive. And then individual, you can configure that for yourself. So look at this: DCC control, comfort, normal, or sport. Then steering, sport, drive, normal, ACC, and air conditioning. Everything can be adjusted with this individual configuration. Background lighting, one of the coolest features of this car. So this is the optional ambient lighting. I would definitely recommend you to go for this. Not sure how much is it, around 200-300 euros I believe, but I mean, just look at this, looks like it's hugging you. And then we can change calm. Look at this, it's changing the colors. It's now green. You also have this, and then here is also illuminated, but you will see it better during the night. Then active, it's now red. Wellness, probably something green, yeah. And let's see how we can, now the brightness is much better, so yeah, now you see it more clearly. Anyway, warm, this is once again red. And individual, you can change the different layout of different surfaces. So you have actually two of those. First one is this LED stripe that you have on the dash. Let's put this, for example, to red. Okay, and then for example you want all these surfaces to be on the top brightness, and then for example this can be green, and then you have this in green. But once again, I will show you that in my night point of view, where you will be able to see it more clearly. Unfortunately, one thing that I did notice is that there are no ambient lights at the back, so that's reserved probably for Audi A3. Well, yeah, but still it's really nice to see this kind of ambient lighting. It's rather different than the ones we saw on other models. So yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Tell me in the comments, how do you like it? Of course, if you don't like this, you can always turn it off. Some people say, oh, I hate the ambient lighting, it distracts me or something like that. No problem, you can turn that off, and then you have it, then you don't have it. But I would definitely drive with it always on. So yeah, let's leave it like this, and then we'll go to another set of settings. This is for the infotainment system, for the mirrors. Not gonna go through all of them right now. Exterior settings, central lock, lights. So yeah, those were the car settings. As I said, this is the shortcut for that one. And then here you have the data, air conditioning, sound settings, and then some legal notice store. This is the future of the car industry, buying things that you didn't buy when you were actually buying the car. Many car manufacturers are offering that, so I love to see this icon in the new car. Anyway, air conditioning, for example, here is where you control the AC controls. This is the air blower, and then this is where you adjust which sections you want the air to blow. I will admit that it's not the easiest one to use. So for example, if you are driving, you have this. In order to change the AC, to change the temperature, you can use the voice commands, which I already show you, or you can slide this thing around, but it's not that easy to guess the temperature, so it's better to just tap, and when you tap on it, you can easily adjust the temperature. If you want the whole AC control menu, you always have it here. So when you press this, then you have the air blower, and then some functions here for the front, then for the rear also. And then iClimate, this is actually the function, the shortcuts that are available. For example, cool my feet, defog the windows, fresh air, stuff like that. So if you want some of those things, you can just press it, and then the car will do it for you, because once again, this is not the most user-friendly system for the AC. It never is, actually, when you have the touchscreen. Air care, klima. Activate this function to filter fine dust and pollen out of the air inside the vehicle. Special air care that you have with this vehicle. And then the settings, automatic air recirculation. So yeah, you get the point. AC controls, cool, but I would still love to have them with the buttons. Sound, you can adjust different settings for the sound system, and then you can have the preset settings depending on the music that you are listening to. For example, if you want talk radio, then you have this. If you want club mix, then you have this mode, real sound, X bass, a lot of options. Sound, you can balance the sound. I'm not gonna do that right now. This car has the standard speakers, but you can also upgrade those speakers if you want even better sound. What else can I show you? So the data. This car, if you drive it carefully, consumption can be really low, even below 5 liters, but then 6.5, 7 would be like the city drive, stuff like that. So it's really not a big spender in terms of the petrol. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that, because it's still a petrol car. Now you have the report that I deactivated the lane assist, and then here you would have a bunch of settings for the service, for the tire pressure, stuff like that, that you would expect here. And well, that's about it when we talk about this new infotainment system. I think I covered everything. The settings, I mean, base things such as the screen, hand gesture tone. And let's go back to sound, because there's one thing that I need to show you, which is you can have this unusual tone when you press something. I'm not gonna turn that on. And yeah, now that's about it. So how do you like this new infotainment system? Tell me in the comments. Okay, one thing also that I need to show you is that here is where you can adjust the brightness of your main screen. And then now we are going to the digital dashboard, which is always a nice thing to see with Volkswagen Group models, because I think they have one of the best digital dashboards on the market. So this is the view button where you can change the different views in front of you. So look at this. You want speed, of course you can have it. You want the classic one with the sat nav inside, okay, no problem. You have different travel assist systems that can be displayed inside of this box, and then you can have the navigation or just the speed. Now each one of these can be adjusted. So look at this, for example, you can have different things available on your left one or your right one. And then when you go to the classic view, you can also change what's on your right dial, and then in the middle, road sign, navigation, some data for your driving. So a bunch of things are available here. And then on your left, same thing. One thing that I would love to have bigger is look at the fuel gauge. You have it, it's just so small. I mean, it's one of the most important things that I need to see, and yet it's so small. Yes, you can put it here, but then you have I mean, you actually don't have, then it disappears from this. So yeah, then that's okay, but still, I mean, if you put something else like the oil temperature, then you get it down there. I don't know, that should have been a bit bigger if you ask me. The steering wheel, these are your buttons for the adaptive cruise control, which this car has. This is the volume button, and then here we have, of course, the flappy pedals for the gearbox. This is how you change the views, so just press this. Voice command button, this is for changing of the tracks or radio stations. Heating of the steering wheel, now it's on. This car has the heated steering wheel, and also it's got the heated seats. And well, yeah, that's it. And then here is where you change all the things that I just showed you. So how do you like it, guys? The interior of this car, it's amazing. I mean, the infotainment system, for me, probably, as I said, among the best in class. And then also let's take a look at this LED lights. What else can I show you? Well, LED light also in here, and with this one the same. I turn that off, and I really feel comfortable in here. So time to check out how much space I have at the back, and then we'll go through the engines and prices. Let's check out the rear bench. First of all, you have a wide angle of opening, and then materials. Here is a classic thing that you would expect, plastic, but everything here is soft. So all the materials that you are going to touch are going to be very well built, and that's a big plus. Then what do we have here? As I said, 5 centimeters more between the wheels, and that means much more space here. So without further ado, let's step inside. And guys, I'm 1.87 m. This seat is adjusted to my driving position, and I still have room for my legs and then for my head. I don't know if you can see it. So you can't see it, but you see it now. Okay, it's better. We still have a lot of room for my head, and that is impressive. That is really impressive. So wheelbase increased, much more space here. 4 adults can travel without any problems. Even the 5th one can fit here, but then there's a slight problem for the legs. Overall, it is good. Then you have some storage space here, and then also the AC controls, 2 USB-C ports, something that I don't use, but yeah, can be useful for someone who uses the USB-C port. And then you can also put this armrest, and you have additional cup holders, so thumb up for that. And let me also show you how do you fold the seats in this car. So it's really easy. You fold it like this, and then you also have this part to keep your seat belt. Convenient. And well, yeah, it's really practical to use. But ISOFIX is somewhere hidden here, so that can be you know, a bit confusing. But overall, great materials first of all here. And then you also have plenty of leg room and plenty of room for your head. So big thumb up, especially if you're gonna, you know, travel with 4 adults. This is really, really good. Time to check out the engine. You need to press this lever. And now I will need to put the camera away because there are no hydraulic struts. So I'll be here in a moment. Alright, so this is the engine. As I said, no hydraulic struts, but it is what it is. What do we have here? We have a mild hybrid engine. It's a 1.5 liter eTSI. That means you get the 1.5 liter TSI petrol engine combined with the small electric motor, and that means the car is more efficient. And yeah, it's a very good choice for this car. I would recommend you to go for this. 150 horsepower, nice you know, figures, 8.4 seconds to reach 100, but also consumptions can be very low if you drive it of course normally. So yeah, other than that, there are also other engines available. You have a 1 liter TSI, that's the classic petrol engine with 110 horsepower. Then you have a 1.5 liter TSI, also petrol, classic one, 130 and 150. And then if you want diesel, then you can also get a 2 liter TDI with either 115 or 150 horsepower. So tell me in the comments which engine would you choose, and now I'm gonna show you the price list. So this car is really awesome value for money, because here I have the price list, and you can pause the video here. You can see that this is the base price. In euros, that's below 20,000 euros. That's 19,660 euros for the entry-level petrol with 110 horsepower. Also, you can pause the video to see all the prices, but you get the point. Value for money is really good with this one. Tell me in the comments which car would you take in this class. So that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Do subscribe to the channel in order to see more videos. Also, there's gonna be plenty of videos with this car. Point of view drive during the night, you will see the ambient lights in action. So stay tuned and see you on the next one. Bye bye.